I'm Batman. I'm Batman. And today we're going to be taking a look at the new Sideshow 1/6 scale Batman. Me. We're going to be reviewing me. As you can see for the box, you got Batman, me right there. And it says 6 scale. So it's a small version of me. Then you come around the side, and it's Batman and bats flying around. And that is me right on the back. And you can see you got contact stuff down there if you want to not contact me, but contact Sideshow at sideshow.com. And then you come around and there's Batman again with bats. And then you flop it around and you shake it. And it's not very, here we go, it's just like that. And you got Batman's logo, or my logo right there. And then there's me again, and it's falling. So I'll hold it up like that because it doesn't, oh no, it's gonna stay. And you can see I got a thing, I'm holding a thing right there, and I got a belt because my pants are kind of big, so they fall down, so I gotta wear a belt. And then I don't even know what that is. I'm holding this batarangs. That's what that is. And then there's me all busted up, which has never happened, so that's a completely fake picture. And then you take this, and that's where I would be sitting if I was that big. And then there's extra heads and stuff right there, and all the other stuff is inside that box. So for the packaging, this is what you're looking at. And it's Batman, so it's obviously going to be really, really cool. So enough about this stuff. Let's get this guy out here and see how cool I really am.
Alright guys, so here we have the Sideshow Collectibles Arkham Knight Batman opened up and out of its packaging. And basically what Sideshow has done is kind of update their Batman figure that we took a look at a while ago and gave him a little bit more different of a look. Now if you remember the original one, it had the very light gray suit with the blue cape, cowl, gloves, things of that nature. This has a more 2003 Gotham Knight look. But one thing that I'm noticing is that their choice in logo here that they have is a little bit more reminiscent of Batman Dead End, which was a fan film that you guys can find online. It's like 8 minutes long, but movie director and comic book writer Kevin Smith and myself both agree that Dead End is probably the best and most truest portrayal of Batman that we've ever gotten. And that's kind of what I get with this. Now both of them came out in 2003, so the overall look is very similar between that Arkham Knight and that Dead End version of Batman, but the logo, like I said, is a little bit more of that Dead End look, specifically in the way that the actual head is. I mean, it just has his ears coming up, which we'll take a closer look at here in a second, but either way, it is a great looking piece. Now, while it is basically a repaint and a slight retool in some areas, we do get some reused parts, which I don't think is necessarily a bad thing whatsoever, because it works for the Batman character. But in addition to the two close fists that are currently on the figure, he comes with a right hand that has this kryptonite ring, which, again, we saw previously, but still a really cool looking piece. I love how it's got this really nice glow effect. It definitely has a very cool overall look to it. You can see some nice detail in the actual glove work itself. So you do get that. You also do get this right gripping hand that is more designed to hold this. You can actually see that in between the fingers it's a little bit spaced. So you can take this and wedge that, kind of get that in there, kind of like that, so you're having him hold his weapon, but we'll touch on that here in a little bit. So you do get that hand right there. You get another right hand that is specifically designed to hold his batarang. You can see it just fits in just like so, which is really cool. But again, we'll take a look at the batarang here in a second. You get a right and left karate chop sort of posed hand, which again, great for some action poses. And you get a left hand that's a little bit more open to kind of hold some of his other accessories. So you do have several different hands to do some real good posing. He does come with this little grapple sort of hook thing. You got a nice string right here. I'm not going to untie this because I'm not really good at tying things, but I think that that's a real nice thickness to the rope itself. You can see that it does have these extending claws, so he throws that up and then he hooks on and then he climbs up. One thing that's kind of cool is when you look at it like that, kind of looks like Batman's logo right there. So I do dig that. Real nice detail on here as well. Real nice wash on the actual silver plastic, which does have a really metallic and silver kind of look and feel to it. I really dig that. So you do get that. And then you also, like I showed before, get his little dart gun sort of thing. You got got some I mean, these are really pointy. So coming in here, I don't know why I zoomed back, but coming in here, you can see these are really sharp, pointy things, so be careful when you're playing with that. But again, real nice paint detail all the way throughout it. You can see that he kind of holds it on an angle, and like I said, that's where you want to bring this hand in here, because it's got this little gap between these fingers that you just wedge this in kind of like that, and you have them hold it like so, which is, it's interesting. I mean, it's not a normal standard kind of held weapon, which I really dig. He, you know, holds it on the side, which is kind of neat, but really very nice. You can see that these little darts here actually have a little bit of gold paint on there, some nice detail here with the gold, a little extending piece, but all in all, really very nice. You got a black handle there. You got some black highlights coming throughout there. So overall, really highly detailed. It definitely looks like something that you would expect Batman to kind of use. The other thing that you would expect him to use are batarangs. And again, these are a little bit different than what we got previously, and these match with his actual logo a little bit more. These look really great. I absolutely love how these ones turned out. You can see some nice silver along the sides here, giving it a very sharp edge, and it's actually angled where it does come together in a sharper sort of point. So it's really cool how they actually incorporated that. But overall, very cool looking design on this. And like I said, it has a little bit more of that dead end sort of Batman logo feel, but it's still cool nonetheless. And in addition to this, you do get a second one. I kind of wish that you got a little bit more of those, just because I'd like to have a whole bunch of them, I guess. I don't know why, but they're batarangs. You can never have enough. And then you also do get 2 additional full heads with different mouthpieces on them. Now, what's really cool is if you have that original Batman figure, that comes with completely different mouth and facial expressions. And you can pop those off just like you can on these, and you can interchange them. So you can have a whole bunch of different options in terms of facial expressions and things like that. But some people have complained about the look on here. And coming in here first, you see that this is the smaller eared version. I honestly don't mind. It's an older looking Batman. It's a much more grizzled looking face. I mean, it definitely has a look that he's gone through a lot, and I do dig that. I don't particularly like the shorter ears, although some continuities of Batman do have the shorter ears. I prefer the little bit longer ones, but not quite that long. That's a little bit crazy if you ask me. I don't particularly like that, but I mean, again, you can pop this off. You can pop this off if you want to. You can put that on there. Although, honestly, if you're going to have that grimacing of a look, I mean, why would you have that face? I mean, I think that the open mouth here just has a much better match with the rest of the overall head. But you can mix and match any ones that you want. So I think that's really great that you can interchange all those different actual mouthpieces. And then you got some real nice white color here for the eyes. And then you come back here, and that's just the standard kind of medium-sized ears with a more neutral kind of facial expression. This one has a little bit of a grimace. This one is obviously teeth exposed, hardcore fighting kind of look. So I really love that, and you can see they just pop on via ball joint, so it's really easy to swap those out. And then finally, he also does come with his display stand. You got a really nice texture on here. It's smooth, but it really looks very cool. And then you can see that it does have this waist cradle, which allows for much more acrobatic sort of poses, I suppose. And then you can, again, just like the other one, and I really love the way Sideshow does this. You can take this section, this piece right here actually slides out, and then you got the little slot right there. You can put that in right like so. Get this out of the way, take this, and you can put that there, and you can just have the standard crotch grab sort of display stand. So really very cool that they give you 2 different options with this. I think that's really wonderful. And you can get a dynamic jumping kind of pose, and then a very heroic standing looking one. So very cool with that. But now, coming to take a look at the figure himself, like I said, there really isn't a heck of a lot that's all that different from their previous release one. But what you do have, I honestly think, is a better looking one the dark gray over the light gray, in addition to the black cape and black other accessories on them instead of the blue ones, I just think overall gives a better look to Batman. I don't know, I'm more classic in that regard, whereas the black just has a better feel. Now, if you do want to swap out the heads, you just, like I said, take this, it is on a ball joint, so you just pop it off. You can see that the cape wraps around the actual neck section, and then you can take whatever head you want, fit that on there. Like I said, it is a ball joint, and then you do want to make sure that as you do it, you kind of get the fabric from the cape underneath the neck section, so, or the base of the head. So I kind of went on an angle here, so just kind of fiddle with it a little bit. You'll get it looking pretty good, and then you can, again, customize your look and how you want your Batman to kind of appear. You can get this older, more short, the ear kind of pose, or the display, which, I mean, I don't think it looks bad. I'm just not a big fan of it. And then, like I said, you can take the little mouth section here, you can pop that off. You can take another one, pop that on. If you do, well, drop it. If you do have that previous release one, you have those extra mouthpieces as well. So you have a lot of versatility in terms of display options for this guy. And it comes together very nicely. But as you can see, the cape, again, very nice kind of detail on here. It has a very faux leather. You can see very shiny on the backside. When you look at it on the inside, though, it does have a much more cloth look. But honestly, most people are going to be looking at that section of the cape, and that just looks great. And again, you can flop this over. You can, you know, I'm really not good at posing. If you want to see some fantastic posing videos, go over to Sideshow Collectibles, and you can check out their series on how to be a poser, where they take a lot of these 6-scale figures and show you kind of in a very professional way how you can actually pose these figures and make them look great in your display. I'm terrible at it, but they're really good. But you can get something like that. So great detail on the cape. You can see that the belt, as opposed to that much brighter yellow, it's a much dirtier kind of gold color. As I talked about, the logo is different. Like I said, in terms of how that looks, it does have more of that dead end Batman series kind of look. And by that I mean that in terms of like the head section here, it just comes across, and then you can see the ears slowly pop up. That was really only something that I saw in that dead end film. So that's where I kind of get the impression that they got the inspiration for this logo. For the articulation, though, you can see the head is on a nice joint. You got a lower neck section here, so you get a nice range of motion there. And I keep having futz with this cape because I didn't put it on there right, but they're a little bit better. The shoulders, you can see, move in, out, they move forward and back. They have this upper section right here, which gives a nice range of motion. It does rotate. You can hear there are nice solid ratchet joints inside there. One thing that I'm seeing is because of the texture on the actual costume, which honestly seems very similar, but because of the coloring on here, like things like the abs are not as pronounced. I mean, they're still there and you can feel them, but they're not as pronounced as they were in that lighter color one, which I think looks really good. So you do have that great musculature throughout the body, and as you feel the muscles on here, these are really huge. So you do have the rotation there. You can move in and out just like so. You can rotate it at the upper part of the bicep. He's got a detachable wrist. He's got one peg here, or one joint at the elbow. You put that back in there, and then you do have a rotation here for the wrists. It does also pivot forward and back. And again, Sideshow gives you pins for every single one of the hands, which is wonderful, so you can swap them out very quickly. He does have this upper ab, kind of, it doesn't angle forward and back all that much, but it does rotate nicely. It does flex forward and back at the hip section. The legs down here move forward, they move back a little bit, they move in and out, they rotate at the upper part of the thigh. They got two bends here at the knee. Again, very kind of muscular looking thighs on this guy. The ankles down here, they rotate, and then they pivot side to side. You can see that they're on a ball joint. I just took it off so that you can see it. So they're on a ball joint, so you get a nice range of motion. And the one thing that's really very nice is the boots actually are designed in a way where you can see they kind of mesh in here with the actual lower section of the boot. So it's an articulated ankle, but it looks like it's all one piece, which looks really very cool. I mean, all in all, I really do think that this is a great step up from that previous Batman figure. I really like that other Batman figure, but in terms of the coloring and things, I guess honestly this is just more my style. All in all, though, I really do feel that this is a step up from their previous release Batman figure. Personal preference is really what it's all going to come down to. If you are a much more classic looking Batman, that light gray and blue may appeal to you. But for me, the darker gray and black just really does say, to me, more of a classic Batman kind of costume. But as I said, it is all more about personal preference. Either way, I don't think that you're going to be wrong. It just depends on how you like your Batman to look. You know, much like that original Batman, I really do like the body that they used for this Batman. It has a very muscular, very Batman sort of feel. I really love the ability to kind of interchange all those different faceplates from the previous release one to this one as well. I think that's a really great way to kind of utilize all those parts. Then, of course, we do get a couple new things in terms of weapons. And let's not forget that we also get 2 additional fully sculpted portraits. For a Batman fan, I think that this really hits on all aspects. And I honestly cannot recommend this enough to you guys. So if you are interested in picking this guy up, he is available at Sideshow Collectibles. So all you have to do is click on the link down in the video description. You'll go to Sideshow where you can check out availability on this, as well as the rest of their Hot Toys and Sideshow collectible figures. But beyond that, guys, that's about it. So once again, I want to thank you for tuning in. This has been Optibotimus, and until next time, I'll talk to you later.